Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, maybe I should plug in my little. Do I have it here? No, I don't have it. Oh, what is this? Ants? I hope they eat this spicy chip. Oh, wonderful. Whew. What's happening? What's happening, everybody? Let's wait a few seconds, let everybody get in. If there is anybody, if there's 3 people watching, well, I don't know what to tell you. There's got to be more than that. Oh man, there's ants on my chip here. This is not good. Even though I'm not going to eat it for now. Even they don't want anything to do with that thing. They sniff around, but they don't, what is this? They don't want to eat it. All right. Well, we got 7 people. We still need to wait a little bit longer. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Happy New Year for the last time. If I haven't said Happy New Year to you, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff, well, the holidays are over. At least in my book they are. And actually in Starbucks, they were playing Christmas music the other day, and I said, it's the 3rd or the 4th or whatever it was. Why are you still playing Christmas music? Oh, we don't stop until the 5th. Hello in Canada. So anyway, the holidays are over. Hey, what's happening? How you doing? Snow. I couldn't handle snow right now. It's bad enough when it's really hot, but when it's really cold and you got to shovel and you got to, take time to heat up the car and all that kind of stuff, it's a little too much for me. It's nice if you don't have to go anywhere and you can sit inside next to a fire, and you got a little family around, and that's cool, but right now it's 82 degrees here in Bangkok. However, right now the air quality is just garbage. It's 152, which is horrible. Very difficult to get good quality air here in Bangkok. Rarely is the air quality good. On a positive note, the Thai baht, 30.1749. The other day it was it was below 30. So it's slowly getting weaker, and that's a good thing for all of us. Hopefully it'll go up to like 40. It's 82. High at 93 today. Ooh, this week, brutal. 95 degrees. 59% humidity right now. It's 82, feels like 86, so not that much of a difference. 5 miles is the visibility. The wind, 8 miles an hour, east-southeast, 8 miles per hour. So that means you get a little bit of a breeze. So it's a good day here in Bangkok. The weather's good. Could be a lot worse. Could be uh, raining. And when it rains, it pours here. Could be flooding. What else is going on? Well, I want to wait a few more seconds here for some people to come in. Um, I've been griping and groaning about my stomach lately, and the surgery I had before, and how I'm wondering if something's going on with me. But I didn't even think about it until yesterday, and I think maybe I have a stomach ulcer. That kind of explains the symptoms that I have. Mr. Mitch, what's happening? Um, yeah, I think I have a stomach ulcer, so I'm going to have to take some medicine. I'll probably have to go to the doctor this week, take some medicine, and hopefully I'll be okay. But people used to think that stomach ulcers came from stress, but that is untrue. It comes from the H. pylori bacteria, which attacks the stomach lining. And I know this because I read up on it. Because I was trying to figure out, hey, how bad is my stomach? What's going on? And I've been watching what I eat lately. So yeah, if you're having stomach problems, watch the spicy food, which is what I've done, which means I can't eat the chip. I was going to do the chicken wings first, the chicken wing challenge, the hot ones challenge. I was going to do that. And right now I'm out of commission. I'm eating bland food. My wife made some fried rice yesterday, and she threw a bunch of chili in it, and I was like, I can't eat this stuff. So I had to have her make some additional fried rice for me that wasn't spicy. And I like spicy food, so that makes it even worse. Mr. Mitch, what's going on? How you feeling? How's everything healing up? Right now, it's Saturday night in the U.S., Saturday afternoon in Oz. Lots of stuff going on around the world. The big thing is this Soleimani and President says U.S. targeted 52 Iranian sites if Iran retaliates against America after Soleimani killing. I think that the Democrats are making. I understand their apprehension about you attack a country's top guy and then you're going to suffer the repercussions. I understand those apprehensions. However, you can't allow a country like Iran to dictate what you do and what you don't do when you got a guy who's killing people over and over again, and he's walking around with his head up in the air like he's going to do whatever he wants. Well, then guess what? You get nailed. Thank you very much, Richard. Appreciate it. You're going to suffer the consequences, and they did. So now they lost their guy. They're threatening the U.S. again, and they're the ones who want to escalate it. You can blame America for everything, but you can't blame them when it comes to this religious nonsense, and that's what it is. The stuff that goes on in the Middle East could be alleviated. Much of it could be alleviated with tolerance. You don't want to be religious? Don't be religious. And the religious people should accept it. You want to be a certain religion? Be whatever religion you want, but be tolerant of others. And this is the only problem I have with religion. I'm not religious. I'll never be religious. And this killing of the guy. All right, listen, it's not a good thing. Yeah, I mean, I think at this stage, I think people know what's at stake if they were to start a war now. I'm not talking about with the United States, but basically with anybody. Millions and millions of people could be obliterated, and I think even the craziest of dictators and of leaders I think even the craziest ones know, hey, is it really worth it? Do we really want to do this? But you never know because, this guy from Iran, it's just like the guy in Korea. They all talk and talk and talk and talk. And in the end, most of the time they do nothing. What happened to the Christmas present? Where is it? Never came. Maybe Donald Trump got a card from him. I don't know. But the Christmas present never came. Because they know that the repercussions, and the thing is that the financial repercussions are probably worse for them in the long run than any other type of action that the United States takes. So, I have no sympathy and for the Iranians who are angry about this guy's death. Oh, yeah. Colin Kaepernick. Who is that? Didn't he used to play like some sport? I forget who the guy is. Like his opinion really matters. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter any more than my opinion matters. It's just an opinion, and everybody has one. That's it, I'm looking at this here. The Democrats, why didn't you tell us? Because if you told them, they're going to say, no, you can't do this. They're going to argue. They argue for the sake of arguing. I don't particularly like how Trump conducts himself, but I tell you what, I definitely don't like the wishy-washy Democrats and how they conduct themselves either. I mean, it's like you're going to impeach the guy, but then you're not going to forward the documents. So then he's not legally impeached. He has not formally been convicted. So what's the point of doing it then? So all these guys, Pelosi, Schumer, they're just irritants. And Maxine Waters, forget about it. Get rid of her. I'll be glad when they're all gone. We got a guy here who commented earlier. His comment did not go through, but I do see it. And the reason I didn't allow his comment to go through is because he's never commented here before. He's commenting under a name that I've never seen before and that has no videos or anything. And he basically said, thank the holidays are over, yay. Bad word. Insert bad word. Which, of course, I'm not the swearing type, so I did not allow it to go through. Mr. Gennaro, what's happening? I just finished a video on the making of sticky rice. Because we made, I say we, but I mean members of my wife's family made sticky rice. They got the bamboo. They cut the bamboo. They stuffed the bamboo. They roasted it. They roasted the rice that's inside of it. They cut it all up. They made everything up. And so I made a video of this, and that video will be going up shortly. It'll be going up earlier in the Patreon site and in the members section. And then it'll go on later on because I'm still working on the other two videos that I have, which is an end of the year video and also going down south to Sortani and what we did and yada, yada, yada. So I've been quite busy. I've already went back to work. I've already started doing things that I have to do. I've already put the feelers out in Hong Kong about certain subjects, and relatively quiet there yesterday and this weekend. I'm not quite sure why, but I think it has to do with the holiday and what's going on. And I gotta say, I was really shocked because I looked at the prices for airline tickets on Air Asia. I just thought Air Asia is the easiest one. I got an app on my phone. I just looked it up. Let me see if I can bring it up right now real quick. It was 7,500 baht and this is one way. I had it on February 3rd because that's at the tail end of Chinese New Year, and it was 7,500, 7,452 baht. Okay, the cheapest one, 7,412 baht. That doesn't include your luggage, which you have to pay for, which I think is 650 baht. It doesn't, and there's only one seat left. It doesn't include choosing the seat, which I don't want to sit in the middle, so I always choose the seat, and that's about 300-400 baht. So it's ridiculous. It's almost $300. It's $275 one way to go to Hong Kong. So I won't be going there on the 3rd. The prices go back down. Well, they were even lower this morning. They go back down to the normal price around the 11th of February, which is a long time away. I don't particularly like that, but that's the way it goes. I still think it's very important. It's an important place. And in the next couple of days, I'm going to give out a tentative schedule of the things I'll be doing, because I do have some things that I want to do and that I'm sure will get done, and then there's some things that I'm not sure will get done. So anyway, that's what's going on. But the baht, at least, is slightly weaker against the dollar. The dollar's picked up some ground. I don't know how much that's going to continue, but we'll see. And again, we got protests coming up, supposedly. I think it's the 14th or the 15th of this month, so that's not far off. We got Longhorns is coming in. I don't know if he's lurking right now, but he's coming into town in about a little more than 2 weeks. We got some other people coming in. So lots of stuff going on. But let me take a quick look at the news. I always look at Fox, I look at CNN, and I look at Reuters and the BBC. That way I tend to see how each article is skewed. Anti-war protest in U.S. cities. Jeez Louise. Already? What's happened to people? Seriously, what has happened to people? I just don't know. Because, yeah, Democratic 2020 contenders condemn Trump's strike in Iraq. How can you condemn it? The guy's a killer. Richard, well, thank you. Like I said, I've been hemming and hawing about whether or not I want to do a GoFundMe. And the reason is not because I feel like, I can't go there and stay for a short period of time. Like I'm talking about short period of time, I'm talking about 5 days, 7 days. That's really not enough, because by the time you get there, you start get some momentum going, you start getting a feel for the place again, boom, it's time to come back. And also, I cannot keep relying on my YouTube patrons and subscribers and viewers to always foot the bill. I can't do that. And I think that GoFundMe is one way to get people that are not necessarily subscribers of the YouTube channel. They may be people who have followed me on Instagram. There's a lot of Hong Kongers that know me through Instagram, but they don't know me on YouTube. Or if they do, they've seen a few of the videos and that's it. So I think it's a broader base to draw from, but I still I'm so... the Congo thing didn't go very well, but that was many, many years ago. And, I don't know. I should be receiving some money pretty soon from the work that I did before, but it's not enough to, pay the bills when I'm there. It's an expensive place. I mean, it's not Tokyo, and there are ways to get around it, but the bottom line is it's going to cost about $125 to $150 a day. And this is, I don't turn a profit. That's basically to stay there and make sure that I'm taken care of. I have a way to get around. I have the proper equipment, which I have most of it already. So anyway, I'm anxious to see what this year brings for Hong Kong. I do think it's important. And there are some other subjects that I want to cover. I'm not going to get into them right now because I just haven't researched them enough yet at this point. I barely knew anything about Hong Kong before I went over. But there are some things that I want to do in Thailand that I need to do, and they're not dangerous or anything like that. I mean, I'd like to start covering some of the festivals a little bit more and shooting those, photographing those, because I've never done it. I look at my portfolio and I go, man, the majority of my photographs come from outside of Thailand. They don't come from in Thailand. We went to Suratani this past weekend, and I was focused on getting the videos and having fun with the family, so I really didn't take all that many photos. I took some, but, they're family photos. It's a big difference. So, anyway, that's what's going on with the channel. American strike in Iraq prompts anti-war protests in U.S. Cities. What really gets me about some people, listen, nobody wants war. I don't think anybody truly wants war. But you cannot allow certain regimes, and I'm talking about the CCP in China, Iran, North Korea, Russia. You can't allow them to just do whatever they want and let them get away with it, because then the next thing you know, they're on your back door. And I think if you talk to military people, maybe military people are more skewed towards wanting to fight and wanting to defend. I know that, like Tim Kennedy, if you follow Tim Kennedy on his Instagram, he's like, yeah, great, we killed a guy, fantastic, he loves it. He's not thinking, oh, well, Iran might retaliate. Okay, so what are we going to do? Let them just keep killing people? Yeah, that's a great idea. Let them just keep killing people all over the world in different embassies and civilian contractors, military personnel. Just let them keep doing that and just do it whenever they want. Women. You mean these people are women, or you mean that they're killing women and children and, they do this kind of stuff too. And what's funny is that I read what somebody wrote last night or early in the morning. I woke up at like 2 in the morning, and I slept like an hour more before I finally got out of bed today. But I read what this guy said, and he said, when you look at the photographs of the people mourning this Soleimani's death, the photographs are tight. They're not wide angle. If there was a huge number of people, there would be a wide angle shot. You would see masses of people. Instead, you see a narrow view of the number of people, which shows that there aren't as many people mourning this guy as some people believe. Why would they? Oh, well, let's not go that far. They do have their use occasionally. They can be a royal pain. I'm not even going to tell the joke that I always tell. I mean, about the definition of a woman. Let's not get into that one. I don't want to sound like a misogynist, because really, I'm not. Most of the time, But yeah, the CCP. This Ayatollah, Kim, which one is he now? Kim Jong-un, Chubby, the doughboy. All these guys. The guy that I respect, at least, he takes care of himself, and he kick the crap out of just about any leader in the world is Putin. But all these places, what are you going to do? You're going to let them just run rampant over everybody? I mean, and the thing is now nobody, I think really, I hate to say this, but I think that the majority of people, they stopped caring about the continent of Africa. Many of I mean, let's just face it, nobody cares. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of hearing about the Middle East. It's all I hear about. It's all I've heard about for how many years now? And it's all because of religion. It doesn't have anything to do with, well, it does have to do with the political leaders, but most of it has to do with religion and the way the religion is viewed. And to me, it's like religion, it seems to me like a way of forcing the mass to believe the way that certain entities want them to believe. And the one thing I do like about Buddhism is that they are tolerant about other religions, and they're not forcing people to believe what they believe. You don't have that here. Well, yeah, and the thing is that most moderates are very intelligent. Iranians are very intelligent. Iraqis are very intelligent. They have extremely intelligent people there, more so than the average American, I might add. They know about world affairs far more than many Americans. I mean, let's face it, most Americans live in their own bubble. I'd say Europeans know a lot more about what's going on in the world than Americans. Now, that may be changing from the time I left, but I think most people just think, nobody's going to mess with us. We're America. We can do what we want. Well, the Democrats are complaining because they're still complaining and whining about, I will never vote for them. I don't care who's a Republican. Who is the Republican candidate does not matter to me at this point. I will never vote for the Democrats the way that they are now because they are so full of shit. And they just continue their bullshit. They don't care about the people. Hey, Tom, how you doing? You're in Thailand. Okay. Cha'am. Cool. How's the weather there? It's got to be breezy over there. Well, I need some Nurofen. I noticed that once the pollution kicks off, then my nose starts acting up. I hadn't had any problems before, really, very minimal. Now the Thai baht's 30.175. I just hope it keeps, just that number keeps rising. No, they're not. Yeah, I understand that. They're not going to declare all-out war on people, but they may do something that's irritating. Well, I've already been there, the Viking. Yeah, but those are Burmese. They're not Thais, and the Thais basically want. No, I understand that. I do understand that, and I agree with you. It's not all peace and unicorns. It's not all candy canes and lollipops and daisies. But they're far more tolerant than those who practice Islam, especially the extremists. In Myanmar, I don't know what their reasoning is. I don't know that it has so much to do with the religion as it does with the people are not like them. Well, I think, to be honest, I think Trump probably just says that to get the religious people on his side. The Christians. He wants the Christians on his side because they're important. That's what I believe. I don't really believe that he's a religious person. Yeah, nothing is completely peaceful. And this is the thing, and I've said this for a long time now. We're animals, man. We are uncivilized animals. We are not civilized. And, it's nice that people are polite and they hold their little pinky out when they drink a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. They think they're so cultured and civilized when the truth is we're animals. We're just animals, really. We're animals in a way that we deal with things a lot of the time. And certainly when it comes to war, I mean, wars have been going on for thousands of years. They're not going to stop. And it's a damn shame because I don't think that it needs to be this way. But the problem is you've got people that are churning out generation after generation of religious fanatics and people who just refuse not to look at logic and science. And I think that that's a problem. And I don't think that it's going to change. I wish it would. And I look at, I saw this guy. Listen, there's this photographer that I know. I don't really know him all that well, but I met him about 15 years ago. We're on the border of Myanmar and Thailand, this rinky-dink little town. And there was a couple of photographers and journalists there. And most of them were kind of rough. These are not, you don't go to these little kind of towns if you're, some famous photographer. Most of the time, they're not doing that. You get guys who, this is what they do. They grind it out. And so this guy is known as a grinder. He goes anywhere. He doesn't care what's going on and how dangerous it is. He just goes. So it wasn't all that dangerous or anything there, but he went there and we were talking about, we talked for a while. And then I saw him in this movie, this documentary about him. I just watched it the other day because I didn't even know there was one about him. And he was in Nepal talking to a Nepalese, I don't know if he was a soldier or a policeman. And he said to the guy, "You're beating these children with batons. They are children. These are young kids. Do you have kids? How about somebody beats your kids? Would you like that?" And he got right in the guy's face and was going, which, he's not a real big guy. And he's telling him, "Do you like this? Will you want your kids beaten? What about if somebody beats your kids? How do you feel? How can you live as a human being?" And the guy started crying. He made the guy cry. And it's the people who don't cry that are ones that are even worse. And I'll be honest, did I put that video up of the guy who was no, I don't think I did. Let me see if I can find it. It's about a police officer who is also a medic that helps the protesters. And he does it for one reason, because he feels guilty about doing his job as a police officer. All right, let me put this up. I'll give you this link. It's not very long. I think it's about 8 minutes. Something like that. Let me see here. All right. There it is there. He's a Hong Kong police officer who, when he's off duty, he works as a medic because he feels guilty about what he's doing. So there are people that have consciences. I can never say that word for some reason. But they're few and far between. And, I also saw that the Michael Youn said the other day, "Hey, protesters, please stop destroying Starbucks." Because in the view of the government, in the U.S. government, they view Starbucks as an American company. This is an attack on the U.S., even though it's Chinese who own these particular Starbucks. They view it as an attack on the U.S. He said, "You're not doing any good by vandalizing Starbucks. It does no good, so just stop." And they probably will listen because he has a huge following and he gets the word out. And he's right. Really? That's pure green for me, man. 100% green. So I believe it's probably on your end. But I don't know. Yeah, it's perfectly green. Yeah, it's probably just a little glitch in the system there. Hit refresh or whatever. So anyway, this is the thing too, is, I go over there and, when I come back, I have time to process everything that's happened, everything that goes on. I see what's going on during the day. I see what's going on late at night. I've been following every single day. I follow what's going on. I'm in two groups that inform me of what's going on. Yeah, they're both really slow right now because nobody's doing anything. And I have my reservations about some of the things that I have some reservations about some of the things that the protesters do. I don't know if they help their cause. And one of those is things like vandalizing Starbucks, just vandalizing anything. I don't know if that helps anything, And then the thing is okay, what are the options? What are the options against Iran when you got somebody who's killing? Hey, listen, if you killed 500 of my friends, do you think that when I had the opportunity I wouldn't kill you? I mean, seriously. And you're going to kill another 500 of my friends and another 500 of my friends? And I'm just going to let you keep going? No. So the Democrats are just crying because they want the attention, and because most people view it as a positive that he got rid of the guy. Most Americans, in my opinion, view it as a positive step. He did something useful. He got rid of a scumbag. So what are they crying about? You know what they're crying about? We lost. He kicked our ass. He continues to kick our ass. We're going to try to get him, and so far we haven't been able to pin anything on him. And we're probably going to lose in the Senate anyway, so we're screwed. No, it wasn't the first opportunity. But, what's funny is that when Obama doesn't do something, and he could save lives, people don't say a word. And I'm sorry, I just will never, ever trust Hillary Clinton. I won't trust anybody with the name Clinton. I can't do it. It's just, there's no way. I think about, listen, if half of what is true that was said about Hillary Clinton in Benghazi, they should have shot her. They should have put her up on the firing squad for what she did. She left the people out to dry. Now, if only 50% of that is true, so be it. But she's never paid any consequences for any of her actions. So think about that. What good has she done? She hasn't done anything. She cares about herself and enriching and lining her pockets. And, well, Trump, listen, hey, of course he cares about lining his pockets. He's done some positive things. Like him or not. Get over the whole personal aspect of it. I have a feeling that most people, they go and they meet him, they're not going to have a problem with him. George Clinton. Leave it to you to bring that up. Is he even alive? Is he still alive, George Clinton? I think he is. So, these things that are going on, somebody's going to have to pay the piper. One day, the hammer's going to come down. And some of these people, it's like, look at what happened to Gaddafi. And, there's a photographer, well-known photographer, who covered Libya and the Congo. And he covered Libya when they were beating the piss out of Gaddafi, and they ended up killing him, sticking a rod up his ass. He's got photos. He had the photos. They were published. How do you think those photos of Gaddafi with his face smashed in and bloody, how do you think those got out? It's because he took those photos. Right place, right time. Must have been crazy. You can only imagine how crazy it would be after all those years of him brutalizing people. Where does this penchant for brutalization come from? Isn't there another way? What was it? I watched the movie yesterday, Uncle Buck. I can't remember what he threatened the girl with. He threatened her. She said she was going to do this and do that. And he said, oh, yeah, well, how about I do this? And it was completely, it was just to embarrass her. And she just went, oh, yeah, I better not do that. It was that simple. So there are other ways, there are non-violent ways. And this is coming from somebody who, I'll admit it, when I was younger, I was a bit of a mug. Brutish. You know, once you get older, that's why you see some little old man who's in power. He doesn't have to do anything. He's not going to knock some guy out. Because that's not where the true power comes from. So, you know, what happens in the... it's an interesting time right now. Yeah, come on. I watched it last night. And I still can't remember. I'll be honest, you know, there are parts of that movie that I like, but like it was hard for me to sit through it. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think, was better. You know, we tried to go through a bunch of Christmas movies. We made it through 4, and that was it. We just can't, our family cannot get everybody together who is awake, who is relaxed enough to sit and watch a 2-hour movie, or who wants to watch a movie. It's very difficult for us to get together and do that. That's why it was so nice for us to go down to the south of Thailand. And we did a lot. And to be honest, I didn't, and I've said this a couple of times already, but my wife was reminding me of my mother. And I mean that in the sense where my mother, when she comes to Thailand, it's like, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, we're going to go here, we need to do this, we're going to do that, and be up at 6 o'clock, and then we'll be over to that place at 10, and then we're going to be to this place at 1, and then we're going to go. The day is completely full. Well, that was my wife. You know. So I didn't really have I didn't have much time. The only time I really did have was time to fly the drone, which was a lot of fun. And it was also another learning experience because that was a different place to fly. And there were some things that I wanted to do that I did, and some things that I wanted to do with the drone that I couldn't do. And, you know, so. Hello, mate. You know, Simon, Big Simon from Hong Kong, is... he's still in Oz. He's going back to Hong Kong in the next couple of days. But amazing what's going on there with the bushfires. And he wanted to photograph them. He couldn't even go down the road. He couldn't even get anywhere. There's no way he could get anywhere near them. That's how bad they were. So every photo he took had to be from far away. I feel for the Aussies. Oh yeah, that's right. Another wonderful thing. Since people have the bad habit of throwing their plastic and the who does this? Who's in charge? The trash people, the waste disposal. Since their mentality is, we'll just throw it in the ocean. You know, they have no way of, they haven't found a way to get rid of everything. Now, plastic in Thailand, single-use plastic, no more. Can't do it. Which can be a bit of a pain. You always got to carry a bag with you, which I got like 4 or 5 of them. I went the other day, I had to buy a bag. I'm like, 39 baht, it's like $1.25 for the bag. It's a big bag, but I got like 5 bags, 10 bags at home. Not to mention the backpacks and the shoulder bags and all the other stuff that I got. So now, every time you go out, if you're going to stop, you have to bring the bag with you. Or you got to buy a bag. Well, I don't want to be buying bag after bag after bag after bag. So it means, here's one. Yeah. I guess I could put it in my pants so it looked like a hog. like my hog. You know. Good bag, big bag. So yeah, that's a big change for Thailand. Especially like, you go into 7-Eleven and they're constantly handing out straws. I don't know if anybody thinks of this, but they always want to give you 20 straws. It's like, wait, I don't even need a straw, you know? Half the time I don't need a straw. What do you give me the straw for? You know, wipe off the top, use your shirt, wipe off the top, and guzzle it. It's not those germs you really have to worry about. You know. Let's see here. I got to talk about this because we always talk about this subject. On the subject of poo and farting. Watch I think it's the most recent. They don't put it in anything now. You got to get a bag. You have to have a bag. Or you have to buy one. Think about all the tourists. The tourists are going to be like, oh, I have to carry my bag with me. Or I'm going to have my backpack with me. I got enough shit. I remember the days when I wore a watch. I had my wallet in my back pocket. I had my keys. That's it. I didn't need anything else. Now I got to have a phone. Usually I got a charger in case I'm out for, a long day. I got to have a charger and the cable. If I'm going out somewhere for a long day, then I'm going to have to bring my camera with me. Wow, instead of carrying all the stuff in my pockets and weighing me down, now I'm going to have a bag. Oh, and by the way, I need a bag to put my stuff in. Of course, I don't want, like the other day, I bought a bunch of meat. I bought pork, I bought chicken, I bought some ground pork. I got pork chops and some fish. You think I want to put those in one of my bags? You know what I mean? Because a little bit of this stuff leaks. Next thing you know, your bag stinks like fish. Then it's like, oh, I have to wash it. It's just it makes no sense to me. So yeah, got the bag. You got to carry the bag. You put the bag. So now you got a bag that you got to carry over your shoulder like a purse. If you bring your own plastic bag, that's up to you. You can use it. Doesn't have to be one of these bags, but they're not going to give you a plastic bag. And actually, yes, we should ban New Humans. You should say, hey, listen, I think if they started educating people, well, cargo shorts are great, but, like some of the stuff I got is heavy. How many batteries can I carry in my pants? Okay, I can carry 4 or 5. That's some weight. And then, okay, this is the big one. This power bank is the big power bank. I've got a smaller one, right? But this thing's heavy. It's heavy. And then camera. Got camera around my neck. Well, at least she's not weighing you down now, there, Mr. Mitch. So, the camera bag, the cargo shorts, rather, they're good for some things, but then eventually you're like, all right, I'll just carry a bag. I'm thinking that the next time I go out on a trip, whether it's Hong Kong or, I have been seriously thinking about Myanmar also, because I haven't been there in a while, and I like it. It's very different. And there are some places I can go that are, there's some stuff going on that I'd really like to document. Yeah, but I forgot what I was going to say. Well, with Manscaped underwear, you can get creative. Yeah, Manscaped. I'm not really pushing the Manscaped stuff until they send me another box of stuff. But if anybody wants to place an order with Manscaped and get some great briefs, because they literally have saved my balls, and I say that unabashedly. I am not shy about saying that because it's the truth. If you're walking and it's hot, it's sticky, the air is sticky, your balls are sticky, everything's sticky, and you're walking for a long distance and you're drenched in sweat, the Manscaped briefs, they are the bomb. I'm going to bring all my plastic grocery bags for trash bags and use them at 7-Eleven. Wonder if anyone's going to freak out. They might look at you as some kind of bum or something. You're carrying in a bunch of used trash bags. But who cares? Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. So anyway, that is, despite the griping and groaning about using these bags instead of plastic bags, I do think it's a good step because, again, the different waste disposal entities around the world, for some reason, cannot figure out how to process the stuff to where it doesn't go in the ocean. And for some reason, people think it's okay to litter. I mean, whatever happened to the, should I call him an Indian? Back then he was an Indian. Now he's a Native American. The guy who used to cry because people, wasn't that because people littered? Whatever happened to that? Why do people feel like they can just throw stuff all over the place and it's okay? Well, I do recycle our plastic water bottles. We recycle them. We have a lady who comes by every so often, and we get them recycled. They could go to glass, but I don't know what the cost difference is. I have no idea about all that. Old plastic bags and special kind of reusable bag. Well, these are special kinds of reusable bags. The plastic bags, yeah, okay, you can do it. But how many times are you going to use it? I don't know. Yeah, you can. And I understand that that one that I have is a little bit thick. I have some other ones that are just flat out there. Where's that one? Oh, yeah, this is a cam. Let me show you. I got this one. I don't know where I got this one. I think the wife gave it to me. Yeah, here we go. Wonderful. Huh? This is canvas. So that's quite a bit better than the other one that I have. But I've got how many of them? When I used to get, and I still do once in a while, but not as much. When I used to use, oh, here it is, right here. Who does this? Happy Fresh. I don't know if this is a Happy Fresh bag, but I got another one here. Say no to plastics. Say no to plastic bags. All right. We got these things all over the place. It's like, okay, so what happens when we want to get rid of these? But this one is much smaller or much lighter than the other ones. And I can get this down to, you can compress this rather. And it's pretty small. You could put this is good to put in a pair of cargo shorts. Speaking of which, I need to get some more cargo shorts. I'm down to like 1 or 2 pair. I used to have about 10 of them. Now they're all, every once in a while it's like I get a rip in them or, and then I'll patch them up. And then the next thing you know, I got another rip in them. And before you know it, it's like, oh, I didn't know my balls were hanging out. Other day I was sitting there and my wife looks at me and she goes, honey. I said, yeah, what? Look at yourself. I said, what do you mean? Look at your pants. And I looked and I go, what? She goes, look, Look down there. I look down, and there's a nice big rip right in my crotch. Didn't even know it. And I'm good to go. Under the seat of the motorcycle over my girlfriend's head. He's the Joker today. No Jono. Jono might be awake though. I don't know. It's 10 o'clock. He's probably awake. I think he's doing a little better. I think he's swearing off the spicy food for right now. I think that was his issue, was the spicy food. For some people, the spicy food here can be way too much. Some people can't, their stomachs just can't handle it. You may like it, but at some point, it's kind of like getting hit on the chin. When you're 25, you got a great chin. When you're 60, your chin is glass. Same thing with your stomach, So I'm coming to grips with the fact that maybe I may not be able to have real spicy food anymore. Mr. Mitch is the comedian. He's the next comedian. He comes on after Jono. Let's take a look and see what's going on around here. I'm totally flying by the seat of my pants today because I worked all day yesterday on the video, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff, running around. Drug trade boom. The drug trade. Wow, the drug trade in... What is this? Fighting cocks. Dog killed in burning pickup. Wow, about half of some 100 animals comprising fighting cocks and dogs were killed after a pickup truck in which they were being delivered to clients caught fire on the Mitropop Highway in Nonsung district of the northeastern province on Saturday night. That's not good. Online sale, new routes will lead to boom in drug trade. These online sales and cheaper prices and new routes are making the fight tougher. Wow, so Vietnam, Mekong River from Laos to Lui, not Vietnam. Laos to Lui, Nong Khai, Bung Kan, Nakhon Phanom, and Mukdahan. That's an area. Then also the Thai border, Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai, and Mae Hong Son. And then Andaman Sea. Wow. It's been so long since I've been around any drugs at all that, it's hard for me to fathom that. But, I do know that they're a huge problem here. Oh, I made you laugh. Oh, that's good. Well, I'm a third-rate comedian here. What did Jono eat? I don't know. He likes to eat. He likes Thai food, But he told me he likes to cook too. So I don't know. I told him we'll start cooking some bland food. You gotta, at least for a little while, because your stomach can only handle it so long, and I guess his stomach's in a bad way. Golden Triangle's drug production expands. Golden Triangle bust yields precursor haul. Heroin returns to the Golden Triangle. Now, for many years, I have wanted to go. I've been to the Golden Triangle once, many years ago. Many, many years ago. And I'm talking about 24 years ago. I have the chips sitting right here. He doesn't want to eat it. And neither do I right now, because I don't think my stomach could. I think it would probably kill me, to be honest. My stomach is in a bad way, and it's like right now I feel it. It's not real bad. I'm okay, but I've been trying to eat nothing but like bland meat with very little flavoring on it. Just things that are easy to digest. And then sometime this week, hopefully, I'll go to the doctor and get, I'm just going to tell him I think I got an ulcer. I have all the symptoms of an ulcer. I don't want an endoscope. I don't want endoscopic, this or that. I don't need that. I don't want them getting carried away because, at the hospitals here in Thailand, they'll do the most expensive procedure on you. Oh, yeah, we got to check this out. No. Let's start at the bottom. Let's do the cheapest thing that might work and give me, she doesn't want it. She's like, I'm not eating that. It's not, if they came out with a Thai version, she might eat it. I mean, she eats spicy food all the time, It's like, like I said, she made the rice yesterday, and I was like, whoa. I was like, my stomach, remember my stomach? Well, I want to eat it. Believe me, there's that part of me that's like, I have to rise to the challenge. But I'm also, hey, like I always say, risk versus reward. There is no reward. Aside from me saying, yeah, I did it. Big deal. That doesn't matter to me. Now, if there was a financial incentive, somebody said, I'll give you, $2,000 if you eat that chip, on my show or something like that, I'd be like, all right, well, let's give it a go. Not right this minute, I wouldn't. Well, by start at the bottom, I mean, let's start at the cheapest way to fix the problem. And I know from my research, and I'm fairly certain that a doctor will agree with me, but the symptoms that I have show that I might have an ulcer. And what's so funny is that I remember eating some food and then like a week later going, man, I feel like I got a bug in my stomach. And the H. pylori bacteria, that's a bug, basically. And I remember it. And I still feel it, in my stomach. If you got stomach issues and you feel it going around in your stomach, then it's very simple to continue to figure out what's going on. Oh wow, my stomach is doing the whirlies, and it causes gas, it causes you to burp, it causes you to fart. Man, you talk about embarrassing. I'm on the road with like 20 people. It was me and 18 other people. I'm on the road, and we're, of course, we had just got there. Me and the kids just got there. And it's like, we're there for an hour. My wife's like, all right, let's go. We're going. I'm like, what? Going where? What? I thought you meant later this afternoon. No, right now. We're on this big bus. It's like, I don't know, one of their friends had like a big song towel. Not a little one, it was big. There was like 20 of us. 20 with the driver. And we're going down the road. And I'm like telling the wife, we need to stop. We got to go but we got to find a banana tree or something. Helicobacter pylori is found in sushi. Yeah, I don't know what it was that I ate. I don't know if it was the dim sum. It was something at McDonald's on one of the late nights. I don't know what it was, but I remember starting to feel like, wow. And then that was the time that actually caused me, if you remember me talking about this, one night where I was out really late, and I was telling Simon, and I think there's one or two other guys with us, and I was saying, hey, we got to get back, man. We got to go. I got to get back to the hotel. I got to use the little girl's room. And he's like, oh, yeah, maybe we can go to McDonald's. Well, by that time, everything was closed. And it was like, I'm like, we need to go. And then we stood around. And then it's like, no, really, we need to go. Then finally, when I got dropped off, I'm like, man, I need something to drink because I'm parched. I'm dehydrated. I need some liquid. So I went to 7-Eleven, and I was like, man, I better hurry up. And then by the time I got to the elevator, I was on the 5th floor. By the time I got in the elevator, I was like in agony, holding back because I was scared I was going to go in the elevator. It was going to all come out. I was going to have a little bit of an accident. And then when I got into my room, the door flung open, the clothes flew off, and I barely got over the toilet. I mean, it was, you know, desperation. I know that's too much information, but that's, I think, the beginning of when my stomach started when I started having problems with my stomach. My stomach started causing me issues. So be careful of that, especially when you get old like me. It's not fun. And especially when you're out and you're in a stressful situation and you got angry. My thing is taking a beating or getting shot with pepper spray or tear gas. Yeah, that's bad enough, okay? But then to shit all over yourself. I came to the conclusion, well, if I do it, I do it. What am I going to do? I'm not going to be embarrassed by it. But, you will be. Oh, that's the guy who shit all over himself after he took some pepper spray shot to the face. Or if a tear gas hit him and some got through his mask and the next thing you know, was running down his leg. Well, I know we've gone places. We've really gotten somewhere when the stream devolves into this. Yeah, I know. I got the charcoal now. I got everything, but I don't want to use it at this point. I wanna take the antacid and the medicine for the bacteria, and I think it's probably best I go to the doctor. I have cured myself of many things, but I don't know that I could. I probably could pick out the right products to cure myself for this, but I don't know. We'll see. Right now, it's manageable. Maybe I could just put a plug up my ass. That might work. And then, of course, where's it at? I had to buy some more wet wipes because the wet wipes that I bought were the wet wipes that they're prickly heat wet wipes. So when you wipe yourself, you get that menthol. So that means that certain places are off limits. No wiping unless you're a sadist. So the other day I was out and I was like, I better buy some other handy wipes that they don't cause you grief when you might have to wipe. When I grow up, I want to be on a YouTube channel talking about digestive problems and toilets. When was the last time anybody here used the squat toilet? Oh, no butt plugs, man. I'm not into that kind of thing. At least not for me. When was the last time anybody used a squat toilet? Well, I did use a squat toilet several times down in the South. And while I don't have a problem with it, it does take a little getting used to. The aim is not the same. And I have to say, I watched the Joe Rogan podcast where he was with all three of his buddies. And, it's not marked as spicy wipes, so that the people think they're getting a regular wet wipe, and they take a wipe, and the next thing you know, they've got chili ass. But he was talking about Joey Diaz and how Joey Diaz was so fat that he used to take a dump, and because of the positioning of his ass, the log would go on the beach. It would go on the beach in front of the water there. And he, well, I don't use What is NS AIDS? Doesn't have anything to do with AIDS, does it? I don't use aspirin. And what is NS AIDS? Oh, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Well, no, I don't. I don't use any of those regularly. It used to be. I knew somebody who had an ulcer, and she used to use Tagamet. Now, I don't know what that does now. I've forgotten, but it made her stomach feel better. Yeah, yeah. But I don't use any of those long term or really short term. I very seldom use aspirin, and the only time I've ever used anti-inflammatories have been when I've been injured, and not for a long period of time. I did get a steroid shot in my heel a few years ago. That was miserable. Talk about misery. You get about a 4-inch needle stuck in your heel. Oof. And I think I put that up on Facebook somewhere. Talk about misery. No, no word, Gennaro. No word. Just that's all right, whatever. She's doing her own thing. Become a vegan. That's not going to happen. I might become a complete carnivore, uh, which is okay. I'm not eating cheese. You know, the other day I had some toast with some butter, and my wife was like, "Do you really need to have that?" I was like, "What do you mean?" Uh, she's like, "You got to have the butter. That's fat. Why are you eating that?" I was like, "Oh man." You know you're getting old when everybody tells you what you can eat and can't eat, and everything you try to put in your mouth is bad for you. So I do like the meat, but I'll tell you what, I had some of this. They have some sausage that they sell in Fresh Mart. It was jalapeno and cheese sausage. Seemed like it was a good quality sausage. I got some of their stuff that was the Italian sausage. I made some spaghetti for the kids. I didn't have any. I just had a little bit of the sausage. It was very good. So I got the jalapeno and cheese sausage, sliced it all up, stuck it in a wok with a bunch of stuff like onions, and I threw in some cilantro and all this other stuff. Made some burritos, and it was good. But then afterwards, I was like, man, I don't know, that didn't really sit so well. So the jalapeno didn't go over too well in my stomach. Xantex, Zantac. I don't even know what Zantac is. I know what it is, but I've never used it. I can't see myself becoming a vegan. I just can't. There's no way. What am I going to do? I'm going to substitute tofu. It's going to be tofu sausage on my pizza. I mean, seriously. I think becoming a vegan is a bit much. I can understand becoming a vegetarian or a pescatarian, but I can't see becoming a vegan. Oh my God, I can't eat that because it came from an animal. Yeah, okay. Imagine telling a lion that he couldn't eat a zebra or a wildebeest. Imagine that. That's what you're doing to me if you tell me that. You got to be a vegan. You got to give up the zebra, buddy. I don't think that would fly. Oh, really? Oh, nice. Everything causes cancer. That's the last thing I need is some cancer. Who needs that? Yeah, okay, Gennaro. Nice try. They're good for your stomach until you have, you've eaten them a couple thousand times. Oh, is it? It's a very popular antacid. Here in Thailand, they have that white chalky stuff. Tastes like ass with a mint stuck in it. It all comes back to the ass. But that's what it tastes like. It tastes like ass. Um, And that was the stuff before I went into the hospital last year for my gallbladder and the bile duct obstruction. I remember feeling similar to what I feel like now, but it was much worse. And I went to the pharmacy and I got some of that white stuff. And I got an antacid also, a little pill. And I took them. And then, the next day I was like, man, it's not getting any better. And I was like, this is not good. So then I went to the pharmacist in the mall who speaks very good English. And I started telling him all my symptoms. He gives me a bunch of stuff. Take the stuff. A day later, it's still not better. It's getting worse. So that's when I went into the hospital. Wasn't going to get better with an antacid. But this is a bit different. At first I was a bit, oh man, it's coming back. Maybe it is, but I don't think that's what it is. I do think it's the Heliobacter. It's the bacteria that eats your stomach lining. Irritates the stomach lining. Omeprazole. Listen, I used to like to eat somtam. I used to like to eat it. I'd have it for breakfast once in a while with some sticky rice and some barbecue chicken. That would be breakfast. I'd do that once in a while with some kaijio. Osid. Okay. I have to remember that. I think I'm going to go get some medicine today. I'll give it a whirl. But I used to have that all the time, and now I just don't enjoy it all that much. It doesn't, I don't feel the need to eat it. I've ate it, 1,000 times. The other one that really, if you guys want to eat something spicy, seriously, have some Yum Sen Tale. Because they put in the lime, and they also put in the chili, but they put the lime in, which activates the chili. And they put in, what else do they put? They got onion and red onion in there, and all combined, to me, that's the spiciest dish, along with somtam, that you can eat. It's almost too much. It's like when you eat something and you go, I don't mind it being very spicy, but when it's so spicy that it doesn't taste good anymore. What's the point of making it that spicy? Unless you're a glutton for punishment. And I eat some pretty spicy stuff, and I pour in, like I'll have some soup from across the street sometimes, once in a great while. I'll have something like that, and sometimes I'll put spices in it. I'll put chilies in it. I'll put all kinds of stuff in it, mix it all up, and I just love it. And then lately, I haven't wanted it. They mistake hot for spicy. Yeah. Well, what really gets me, and the last time this happened, I was getting a curry at this Ichiban curry place. It's a chain they have in all the malls. They got good food, but like the lady goes, so you want it spicy? I go, make it very spicy. I was in the mood. I go, give me something, I want it really spicy. She gives it to me and I go, this isn't spicy at all. I go, come on. And then I looked at the menu, and they had this thing down at the bottom that said, like if you want it really spicy, how spicy do you want it? I told her, I go, I want it, very spicy, very, very spicy. Do you like a Thai? So she gives it to me, and I barely could, it didn't even register. And then I look on the bottom, and they got the 1 to 10 scale. I should have told her, give me a 10. Test me. Try me. Now I'd be like, I want no spice in it. I don't want my curry. Usually I don't want my curry to be spicy. That's the other thing. I've talked about going to India. There's a lot to do in India. There's a lot to see. I think that would be entertaining for you guys if I went to India. Me dealing with the Indians. But, Steve is there. Steve, formerly of Steve's Kitchen, now of a channel of his own name. Um, and, he's a pretty laid back guy, pretty sensible. He doesn't generally get too irate about things, but he's been on the phone with me a couple times, and some guys go, Mister, hey, you, hey. He's like, get the fuck away from me. I'm like, you're starting to sound like me. He's like, I'm sick of these guys. They're constantly bugging me. Or, they're right next, they'll do things like he's walking down the street. There's not that many vehicles on the street. There's nobody in front of the tuk-tuk or whatever it is. And he's walking along, minding his own business in his own world, or he's on the phone, and this guy's beeping the horn to try to get his attention. So, he screams out, some expletive, and, that I guess that's India for you. Hey there, Mr. Cowboy. Cowboy. I don't even want to know how you got your name, Soy Dog Cowboy. People used to call you Dog. You went to Soy Dog, you went to Soy Cowboy, and then you were like, my name's Dog, and then you went, hey, Soy Dog Cowboy. Yeah, that's what it is. We got 38 people watching, which is not a huge amount, even for my channel. The other day I had something like 63, which is, it's okay, I still go back to the Hong Kong 300 and something. I don't know how many it was. 300 plus. So 38's not many, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got about 6 out of 38 people commenting. Oh, is that what it was? Wasn't that with Matt Dillon? Matt Damon. I don't particularly like Matt Damon. I don't like his movies. Obviously, I'm not talking about him personally because I don't know him, but I'm talking about his movies. I don't particularly like his movies or Ben Affleck's movies. Wasn't that Matt Dillon? Drugstore Cowboy? I have this friend that used to own a bar. I've told this story before, but I don't know if anybody remembers it. He used to have a bar in Nana Plaza. And Matt Dillon was shooting the movie, City of Ghosts with James Caan. And he had some time off, and he would fly back to Bangkok. And he would go into my buddy's bar. My buddy's got all kinds of pictures with him. And the guy would always have a couple chicks on his arms, And, yeah, so I always remember that, and that movie was all right, City of Ghosts. It was a little far-fetched, but pretty good movie. And I always liked that he was in that, because I thought he did pretty well at it. And with James Caan, I mean, But that was Cambodia. That was Cambodia when Cambodia was something. I mean, when I first started going to Cambodia, it's much different than it is now. People make such a big deal about, the happy pizza. You can get the happy pizza. Man, there were shacks all over the place. That casino, there was no casino. It was all shacks there. They were all blowjob bars. Or it's just a mud track of places. They were just, it was a little shanty town. That was when, I don't even know if it's Martini Bar, if that place is even open anymore. Open until 6 in the morning. They had the little legless guy that sat there. Hey, what's going on, man? Every time you walked in the door, he'd be, hey, man, what's happening? Hey. And you'd be like, huh, who's talking to me? Then you look down, and there's this little guy on a skateboard. That was the day when there were some true characters there. Now, I don't know. I haven't been there in, 2 years? It's been a couple of years. You can't be everywhere all the time. I don't know. Does it have worse air quality? Right now, air quality in Bangkok is down to 93. Let's take a look at Pattaya. I don't even know how to search it. Oh, man. Close your windows to avoid dirty outdoor air. Yeah, okay. Isn't there a way for me to... I thought there was a way for me to change this without going online. I don't want to sign up. I'll just take a look. Oh, man. Pattaya Air Quality Index. Ooh, 144? 119. Bangkok is 93. Yeah, that's pretty bad. What does that tell you? When you're by the ocean and the air quality sucks, maybe it comes from all the garbage that's in the ocean and what the garbage is emitting. I don't know. Anyway. So I should have 2, 3 videos up in the next couple of days, maybe one tonight. I don't really want to put up the sticky rice video tonight because it's kind of out of order of everything that happened in the South, everything that we did in the South. But it's going to go up in the member section and on Patreon. I'll put it up regardless. But in the next couple of days, I should have 2 or 3 videos up. By next week, I should have 2 or 3 more videos up. I want to start making more videos again because I need to practice. Ooh, cracking down on the Indians. It's probably that non-plaza. It's that non-plaza. That's what it is. Oh, yeah, you see? That's one of the symptoms right there. All I had was 2 hard-boiled eggs today. Oh, that's a good one there. Let me shut some of these windows down. And I would like to go to, Pattaya. Longhorns, you're getting here on what, the 24th? Or what's the deal? 25th? I forget. And then when are you going to Pattaya? When are you making the move to Pattaya? Or are you just going straight there? And I got to have a little rant about YouTube. No, it's not about the financial end of YouTube, although that's always, I'll be in Pattaya, but only to visit on the 24th. Only to visit? So you're coming back to Bangkok, or how's that work? You're only coming for a couple of weeks. I remember that. But back to the YouTube thing. I made this video about the how to make sticky rice in bamboo, how it's cooked up, how they do it from start to finish. And unfortunately, in the background, one of the neighbors was playing music, and the music was loud. Now, it wasn't that loud, but it was loud enough to where I kind of was concerned about whether YouTube would pick up the music for 3 weeks. Okay. Because Chinatown, that's happening on the 25th. That's the Chinese New Year. So sometime after that, maybe I'll go down to Pattaya. But it depends on Hong Kong and everything else, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so with the YouTube, I wanted to leave the sounds of some of what was going on, like the chopping of the wood and this and that. I wanted to leave that in, but I couldn't do it because the music's in there in the background. You can barely hear it. I did it on the sound. What is it? Soundhound. Soundhound couldn't pick it up, but you know what? YouTube is slightly better than that. And if they hear a particular beat, if the system hears a particular beat, whatever, lyrics, then they will prevent you from earning any revenue from it. And I'm like, man, what are they doing? It's like, what am I supposed to do when you got background music, somebody plays it, and you got something, you're speaking. You can't just isolate that back. I don't know how to do it. To isolate that background music, get it out of there, and separate the voice. You can enhance the voice to where the voice comes up a little bit, but the music's still in the background. So there's nothing you can do about it. So, that's my beef with YouTube. I got a real beef with them about how they don't allow, it's like, we're going to get you for this, we're going to get you for that, and like, all right, I swear sometimes. I understand that. You don't want, this is a family channel. Yeah, right. But then you're walking along, you got something that you really want to show, and then somebody's playing some little tune in the background, you can barely hear it. And guess what? Sorry, you can't monetize this. Sorry, we're going to block this and you can't even hear it. So what are you going to do? Stifling my creativity. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people who feel the same way, and they're a lot larger channel than I am, and they're probably suffering a lot more than I am, because it's not like I'm really suffering all that much, although, listen, they want to take away 45%. What am I getting? 55% of nothing is nothing. And if I can't get any money because, you're giving 45% to them, 55% goes to you, except you're going to have to pay out of your revenue to the songwriter or the song owner or whoever it is, and half the time you can't even hear what the song is. What's the point of that? Right now my finger is upturned, my middle finger at YouTube. And big business and government. I've got the big finger. The middle finger is going to all of them. There's my mini rant. Happy New Year. 2020. I thought I'd be lucky to see 2000. Seriously, I didn't know if I was going to make it past 2000. Now here it is, 2020. Can I make it to 2100? I doubt it. You're going to be in Bangkok. Well, we'll have to set something up to where, Nicholas, you can meet with Nicholas and Alex and have a little chat with them. Alex came back from Suratani, and then the next day he slept all day until like 5 o'clock. I'm like, how does somebody sleep that much? How do you sleep that much? I just don't get it. You're talking to a guy who's lucky to sleep 5 hours a day. Kid's sleeping like 16 hours. I'm like, what's the deal, dude? I guess he's just a growing boy, but... Anyway, what else is going on? Anything? Got anything else going on? Food zones to deter elephants from roaming. Listen, an elephant wants to do something, nothing's going to deter him. That is something that, speaking of elephants, I'm not thinking of this like more than superficially, but There are 3,000. Wow, I didn't know that. There are 3,000 wild elephants living in Thailand. 500 of which are in the Khao Ang Ru Nai Wildlife Sanctuary in the country's Eastern Forest Complex. It's in the area is in Chachoengsao, Sakeo, Chonburi, Rayong, and Chanthaburi provinces, and forest tracts span out to Cambodia. The Department of National Parks, Wildlife, and Plant Conservation says it will create food zones around wildlife habitats to reduce confrontation between wild elephants and local people. What's a food zone? The zones will have plentiful supplies of grass, small plants, bushes, fruit, twigs, tree bark, and roots for elephants to eat, which will hopefully deter the animals from venturing into nearby communities. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. Sorry, I don't believe it's going to happen. What? Do artists have a right to take money from people for casual music content? Yeah, I don't understand that. It's not like, listen, I understand if I do a background, I use it as a soundtrack. And, if you remember, I put the song Wish You Were Here for a little Vietnam video that I did. And that was allowed at the time. Now it's not allowed. That's not allowed any longer. Well, now listen, you can't just backtrack and say, oh, well, we let you use it then. Now we're not going to let you use it. Well, the video's been up for a year. So you let me use it for a year, then you take it down. Okay, whatever. I understand. Fine. I don't think that should be allowed, but whatever. Okay, I can get over that. So you don't use an original song, a copyrighted song, as a soundtrack. I can deal with that. But when I'm like, listen, and these are Thai songs that are blaring as loud as they can go, and they're still not that loud in the background. The people got these crappy speakers, and they're very, very loud. And they're so distorted that you can't really tell what the song is. All you hear is this dun 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 dun. But in order to prevent any problems, I got to turn that down, and then you lose the people speaking in the background, and you lose the noises of the fire crackling and the people chopping wood and doing this and doing that. You lose that. So I don't get it. And, I don't know. I don't want to complain about how YouTube does their business, but I'm complaining. I don't want to, but I am. Because quite frankly, I think YouTube at this point, they've changed so much from how they originally were, and that's to be expected. They're going to change. They're going to have to deal with things. But, it's the same thing with Facebook. Now, if you go to Instagram, which I'm going to do right now. Oh, wow. What is NST? I don't know what NST means. When you log into, or you just go into Instagram, if you've closed the app, it says Instagram by Facebook. New Straits Times? No, that's not what she means. I don't know what it means. Well, everybody likes that one. Wow. Anyway, I don't know. What's the point? This is the thing. What's the point? Yeah, well, Jimmy Fallon sucks. I'll be honest. I saw something yesterday where he was interviewing Roger Waters, and what a dummy he is. I mean, he's talking to Roger Waters like he's a little girl. Oh, I can't believe you're online. Oh, wow, I'm so happy. Oh, my goodness. And then, to make matters worse, he starts talking. I mean, if you know you're going to have Roger Waters on the channel, you might want to do your research and figure some things out and learn some of the bullet points of their career, his career, and what happened with Pink Floyd and everything. So what does he do? He says, oh, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Syd Barrett. And then he says, is it true that that one day you were playing what is it, Shine Like a Diamond, and that this huge bald man with a toothbrush in his mouth came in while you were playing the song, and you didn't know who he was. He said, well, that's a true story, but he didn't have a toothbrush in his mouth. He said, well, I was trying to joke about it. And this is the guy's best friend from growing up that basically did too much acid, had some serious mental issues that were exasperated by his use of drugs. And Jimmy Fallon's making fun of it. He's trying to joke about it. It's like, man, why would you why would you just not approach it from, hey, man, I love your music, and, why do you even have to bring up Syd Barrett? Because it's a negative thing. If you want to bring it up and keep it simple. Keep it straightforward. It really rubbed me the wrong way, and I just think he's an idiot anyway. Same with Jimmy Kimmel. Sorry, I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. I don't like Jimmy Fallon. Maybe they're nice people in person or whatever, but as hosts, sorry. They just don't. They don't cut it for me. And yeah, Soy Duck Cowboy. Not to get away from the gist of your comment there, but yeah, you're correct. We don't care about the little guy, and if you can't get, 1 million or 5 million or at least a couple 100,000 subscribers, then basically you're worthless to us. And they can say whatever they want, but that's what I believe, and that's what many, many other people who I spoke to, that's what they believe also. So, after a while, it starts becoming true. And to me, it is true. Listen, if I wanted to watch Walt Disney stuff, or Britney Spears, or, what's her name? Taylor Swift, I buy their stuff. Or I'd watch it on some other venue. They're trying to make it like a TV channel. Which, okay, it's their prerogative. They can do whatever they want. But, they start out, and it's like you give somebody a steak, and then you go, oh, no, you can't have that. Here's one black-eyed pea. You can have that. Wait a minute, you're going to give me a steak, and now you're exchanging it for something completely different. And that's what it's the old bait and switch. That's what they've done. I'm looking at this crack on my screen here. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm a bit anal about this, but it really bothers me when I see a little crack in my film on my phone. What is this? See? Got some messages. Hey guys, I'll be leaving on Tuesday. It's been an amazing experience, life-changing. We'll have to have a last supper. Oh, wow. This is a guy in Hong Kong. He's leaving. A lot of people are leaving. You don't see a whole lot going on CNN or, there's too much stuff going on in the world right now. Hong Kong, even though it's important, I believe that, and I think a lot of other people believe it's important, extremely important. I think that, I could say Kim Kardashian's big ass, but I'm not going to say that. You got Trump, the impeachment. You got the things going on with Iran now. You got Brexit. all these things overshadow what's going on. Uh, you know, all these things overshadow it, and I think that's what makes it even more important. Because if everybody just says, well, it must not be that important because it's not really in the news. Um, Aside from some of the publications in China, in Hong Kong, and some other select parts of Southeast Asia. Let me take a look at something here. I don't want CNN Italy. We'll look at Reuters and the BBC. What really gets me is the Brits aren't doing anything. Oh, it's not Italy, it's international. Duh. Did you see that Rod Stewart and his son got charged with battery at I think it was Palm Beach, Florida? Everything on CNN is geared towards the left. Ricky Gervais has a whiff of desperation at the Golden Globes. Okay, they do have the fires in Australia, which those are pretty important because it affects a large number of people. I don't see one thing on CNN on the front page of their international site about Hong Kong. Not one. Let's see if I can just pick one. Well, they got something about Cameron Diaz having a baby. Let's see here. Let me go to the world section. Okay, we got the Carlos Ghosn flees Japan. Yeah, let's see here. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. CNN, I don't see anything current on Hong Kong. Nothing. What about on Reuters? No. China replaces head of Hong Kong liaison. This is old, isn't it? I thought they were going to do that a long time ago. Let's see here. Following more than 6 months of often violent anti-government. No, this was just today. Oh, this says Singapore. This is out of Singapore. China has replaced its head of its Hong Kong liaison office, the most senior mainland political office based in the Chinese-controlled territory, following more than 6 months of often violent anti-government protests. Let's see here. All right, so that's a little, and that was released that this was going to happen quite some time ago. None of the news stories are important regardless. If I'm not there, then why should I devote my time and feelings to it more than a few minutes? I acknowledge it and move on. Well, yeah, that's one way of looking at it. I mean, what is important to you? The only thing that's important is what's in your bubble. And I understand that because that's how I feel most of the time. But I also look at it like, do I want my kids speaking Chinese? What happened after this nation banned plastic? China sacks top Hong Kong envoy amid protests. Okay, that's the same thing. What is this? Where wealth is more taboo than sex? Oh yeah, I did see that on Netflix there's a Dracula series. Why do they have to have a series? All right. you got an article about a kid who's got long hair. The boy with very long hair. He's famous for his hair. Oh wow, that's so insightful and useful, and wow, people just that's another Kim Kardashian's fat ass article. What happened after this nation? Oh, Vanuatu. Oh, I'm not going to watch it. I can't watch the video. All right. Well, whatever. Anyway, that's the way it goes. Now, if you look at the South China Morning Post, there's going to be a lot of stuff there about what's going on in Hong Kong and in China. But you're right, Longhorns. The bottom line is most people they have no reason to care. As long as it's not affecting them, then it's like, hey, well, what's the big deal? What does it matter? How important is it? And think about how far away South Africa, Mozambique, Kenya, Tanzania, how far away are those countries from, the United States, from Europe? They're far enough away where people are like out of sight, out of mind. And, you can say whatever you want about the communists taking over the world and blah, blah, blah. But for most people, it's just not that important. Most people would rather watch a 2-minute fluff piece on, Cameron Diaz giving birth on the off chance they see her in a bikini or something. I never found her all that hot, to be completely honest. But they'd rather watch something like that for 2 or 3 minutes because it's mindless content. Nobody really wants to think. I have to ask you, Longhorns, do you still have the tablet? Is it still working? Well, yeah, you got a point there. The only reason that honestly, the only reason that I've gone to Hong Kong and I've made it something important to me is because I do think it's important to the region, because I live here, because my kids live here, because it may affect their future. And I think that everybody who gets the word out there, I think the more of it gets out there, the better chance of some problems being resolved. I don't know. I really don't know how correct I am in my assessment and in my view, but so it is still working. Man, that thing never dies, huh? I need to get a little laptop. I'll tell you what, the laptop I have here, the Mac, knock on wood, still going strong, but I could use a little one. A little one that I can carry around like, it's almost the size of a big tablet or a tablet. Yeah, that would make it easier for me to get things out. But, you use what you got. So I'm surprised that thing is still working. I thought for sure it was going to die. Anyway, we're just shy of 2 hours. We're about 5 minutes, 6 minutes shy of 2 hours. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Like I said, I got some videos going up. I do have some things planned. They will happen one way or the other. Excuse me. But I can use all the support I can get, whether it be by views, by PayPal's, Super Chats, purchase of T-shirts, whatever. I can use all the help I can get. So please don't forget that. And yeah, what else? Thank you and good night. I was going to get a new one in Thailand, but now I'm not, since I'm only visiting a short time. Well, I would just run that thing into the ground. When the thing doesn't work anymore and you can't get it fixed, or it's too costly to fix, then maybe you get another one. But until then, why bother? It served you well for all this time, so, That dog is just, every morning, Odie wakes up barking. I don't know if there's a cat or what it is, but he just, every single morning. You have to yell at him. You have to tell him it's okay. Finally, he shuts up, and then later on in the morning, does it all over again. Just something bothers him. Something makes him want to bark. Every day at these times, the same times. Anyway, it's a dog's life. So, I guess that's all for now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the lurkers and to all those people who engaged in the chat. Yeah, Samsung rules. Okay, if you say so. I'll take an iPhone over a Samsung any day. The only problem is they're more expensive, but I can't. It's not Samsung that I have the issue with so much. Although I do have an issue with their television sets. It's the Androids. I just don't like Androids. Simple. I like the way that the iPhone is set up. So anyway, I guess I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Like I said, there should be a video going up later tonight, which is Sunday morning in the U.S., I guess. I'm going to try to start making my videos more regular. I'm trying to get a little backlog going so that I have a little bit of time to produce some halfway decent videos. And, I'll still do the streams, but I am trying to get back over to Hong Kong, so you guys are the ones who make it possible. Without you, I ain't going. I ain't going there, and I'm not going anywhere. I'll be sitting here at my desk. I don't need a new one that does the same thing, just the battery doesn't work as good eventually. Yeah, well, can't they change the battery, or do they not do that? They didn't want to change whatever they had to with the main board, or it was too expensive in the TV, which is why we had to get a new one a couple years ago, or a year and a half or so ago. So, anyway, thank you very much. I don't want to go over 2 hours. I want to keep it under 2 hours every single time, preferably under an hour, but we'll see about that. So, until next time, that's all I got. Thanks once again, and I'll talk to you guys later. Choke D. Good luck. Jerk and my. Let's see you later. Till next time.